As you can see, there's books, free books for you guys. I just wrote this book. We're going to talk about some things. Obviously, I try to be as detailed as possible in the book. So really what I want to know today is how I can best help you and where your struggles are, so we can cover some of those things. And 8 in the morning, I don't know if you guys did anything fun last night. It's not Vegas, but I'm very proud that you guys are here, so thank you. Again, participation, please, please, please don't make me talk up here the whole time. I want to know what's going on with you guys so I can cater what I'm saying and give you guys the most help possible. So interrupt me at any time. Who in the heck am I? April Edwards. I own Deck Builder Marketers. We exclusively work with deck builders to help them grow through digital marketing. And I've been in the design and marketing field for 18 plus years. I've literally worked every single position. If it was a restaurant, I would have been the dishwasher and the expediter, the chef, and the server. Today I'm on a mission to help 300 deck builders grow. I'm very dedicated to this industry. This industry has been amazing for me. I'm very proud to be in it, and I want to be an integral part of advancing it forward, which is a big reason why I wrote that book. I'm also the host of the We Love Deck Builders podcast. I'm going to reference a couple of episodes in there today because they're very applicable to some of the things I'm talking about, and I think you guys will get a lot of value from listening to it. So if you guys just go to welovedeckbuilders.com, it'll take you to the page where you can listen to past episodes and subscribe. I'm also the columnist of Market Yourself in the Deck Specialist magazine and author, obviously, of this awesome book that you guys get today. I'm a proud sponsor of NADRA. We're a bronze sponsor. Love participating and helping Pops and everybody there. And again, I'm really blessed to be devoted to this industry. I'm here for a reason, and I'm not going anywhere. So, and then just a little bit about me. I live in San Diego. I put my 30 years in Ohio and chased the sunshine, and now I like to surf and ride dirt bikes and show my children the world. Okay, so who really wants to significantly grow their business this year? Okay. And who has a digital marketing strategy in place but feels there's more potential? Okay. All right, some of you guys, I don't even know why you're here. Okay, so you guys are here because you want to take your business to the next level, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So what you can expect, we're going to talk about some growth strategies. We're going to learn some high-impact digital marketing tactics that drive results, so not just social media. Website is super important. It's the hub to all your marketing, and so we're going to talk about optimization tips, and what that means is how do people actually convert? If they go to your website, do they actually pick up the phone and fill out your form? So I'm going to give you guys some tips on that. And then tools for execution. So with the book, there's a companion checklist, and you guys can download that. I think there's in the resources section, and then in the back of the book, I think there's a QR code for that. And what's really nice about it is it gives you a complete checklist that goes over everything that's in the book. So nice digestible format for you. So my mission today is to equip you with practical strategies that you can immediately use to grow your business. So now it's your turn. I want to know what challenges you guys have faced this year. Has anybody experienced a shift in leads? Yeah? How many people have seen less leads this year than last year? Okay. For those of you who haven't, how has business been successful for you? What type of strategies are you using to get leads? How can I say this to where you guys are going to answer the question? Marketing needs to be paired with your business goals. So some people just want to kind of, they love the craft and they want to be in the field. They don't want to train people. There's other people that really want to work on the business and have people to support them so that they can grow year over year. Some people want to build a really legacy type of business that they can hand down to their kids, or just be on the outside like me. I want to grow my business so that I have a team running it for me, and then I just pop in every once in a while when I'm old. Does anyone want to share any growth goals that you have? My girl. Go ahead.
Next year I want to add $1 million in revenue to our deck division.
And what percentage increase is that from this year?
In just the deck division?
Yes.
Probably 60 or 70%. Last year we did more than this year, but that was purposeful. I dialed back to increase our roofing division, and now that that's set, I want to push play on our deck division harder.
And how do you think you're going to get there?
I'm feeling unsure of that this month.
Okay.
If it were still September, I would have said keep doing what you were doing, but the brakes were put on during October because of the election, and we finally felt the economic downturn in New Jersey. It took much longer than elsewhere in the country, but the Northeast finally is feeling it, and my tactics are no longer working.
Yeah. Does anybody else have a similar story? Did you guys see an impact from the election at all? Who here are business owners? Okay. All right, so I'm gonna talk about some points here. Marketing is about, if it's working for you, you should be getting premium clients. Now, maybe some of you guys don't need premium clients, maybe your definition of premium is something different, but regardless, you should be getting consistent work. So relying on referrals alone isn't gonna last, especially in today's world. It will, if you like the ebb and flow of business, but I find it exhausting, and I wanna know that I've got a consistent pipeline that's gonna feed my business and help me reach my goals. It also will give you the privilege of being selective. So instead of just taking, low-value projects or pain-in-the-butt clients, you'll hopefully get to the point where you can say no more than you say yes. And that's making sure that you are working with the folks that bring you the most joy, that you can help the most and make the most money off of. Everybody wants an experience. I think that marketing and communication does a really good job of facilitating that too. People want more than craftsmanship. They want to trust and connect with a brand. And if you're not marketing, you're invisible to the premium clients who expect a reputable, established builder. So you guys sell high-value services, and people are going to take their time to research and figure out what they want before they even pick up the phone and call you. And I would venture to say, if they have not done that, you're spending a lot of time on sales. Does anybody feel that way? Has anybody not even checked out your website and just hit you up because they were a referral? And how does that work? So it doesn't work for me, because then I gotta sit there and tell them all the things about us, And again, it's a high-value service. I know that you guys convert more referrals than you do anything else, but there's still so much priming you have to do to get somebody to close on a high-value project. What's everyone's average project price here? Like 25K? 50? 35? 35? About 30? About average 30? Okay. All right, so things were great for you guys in COVID. I mean, everybody was spending time at home and figuring out how to utilize their space better. People were investing, and it was great. But I talked to deck builders all across the country, and there's been a little bit of a shift, I'm, optimistic things will change now that the election is over, but regardless, there's a lot of competitors that have popped up since then. And they're small guys, maybe general contractors that are, doing decks now and outbidding. And so if you're not doing something to really stand out and be visible, it's just a price war. And who wants that? I mean, you want people that want to work with you because they already know, like, and trust you, right? That's really the power of marketing. And a strategy is extremely important. A lot of people will throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks, or they'll just kind of turn it on and turn it off. That's a very common story I hear. Well, it's busy season, so now I'm gonna market. Well, I'm gonna tell you, if you didn't get your marketing game in place prior to busy season, you're losing out on opportunity because it's not ramped up enough. It's not a well-oiled machine at that point to really get the amount of business that you can. I had my SEO guy just do a little exercise to see, on average, how many searches there are in different markets for core keywords that we use to bring in people that are searching for your services. So deck builder related keywords, composite decks, all those things. Deck builder near me. There are a lot of variations of keywords because people can say deck builder in X city, and most of you guys service, like 20 cities. So what we did is we took the amount of searches just for those services. We're not talking about any like long tail searches, which would mean, what's the longevity of composite versus wood decks, right? Like that's a long tail kind of search. So what we did is we came up with the average searches in a couple of markets, and then we just multiplied it by 2. But you have to imagine that's probably a lot more depending on how many cities and stuff that you're searching. That's 5,000 searches on average in different areas. And if your website isn't optimized, if you're not visible online and showing up when people are searching for you, you're not taking advantage of any of those potential homeowners that are searching for you. And the kicker is, if you're not at the top of the page, you're probably no one's going to your website. So today is what I really want to focus on and show you guys some of those things. Point 3, your legacy is built on visibility. Referrals come, people get older, you need to be able to constantly get your brand in front of people. So marketing is the foundation for a lasting brand. It brings you referrals, brings you reputation, and creates demand for your work for years to come. Okay, so I do want you guys, I see some of you guys have some pens and notebooks. I want us just to take a couple of minutes to really think about what your bag is. It's your big, audacious, hairy goal. Okay, so I want us to think big. Has anybody heard of the entrepreneurial operating system? Okay, well check it out because it really made an impact with my business. It's basically a structure for your operations. And they start out with this basically, like your 10-year goal, what you want in the end, and then you're able to kind of break it down by 5-year, 3-year, 1 year. And then you could put some metrics to that, like what do I want my sales to be? How many people do I need to operate? Those types of things. And it makes it so much easier for you to be proactively working on your business in quarterly chunks from there. It sounds simple, but who really takes the time to do that? And it makes a really big impact. So again, we have to know what our goals are if we're going to have an effective marketing strategy. So just take a couple of minutes to think about what your big goal is for your business so that you have a business that you're proud of, and that you're thinking long term. Because I didn't put all the work into my business to be here for just a little bit. Oh my God, right? It's not easy. So a couple of examples are, do you envision doubling your revenue, expanding your team, maybe getting a salesperson, becoming the go-to name for premium outdoor living spaces. Maybe you want to own the whole backyard. It matters because without a long-term vision, your business can struggle with inconsistent revenue and lose ground to competitors. A clear, ambitious goal helps your team focus, it inspires clients, and it sets you up for lasting success. Does anyone want to share yours? Mine is to help 300 deck builders grow. And we have a mission of empowering potential, building success, and enriching lives. And that breaks down to our 5 core values, which are better together, master craftsmanship, woohoo, and I'm forgetting the last one, which if my team is listening, they would not be happy with me. Oh, straight shooters. Anyone want to share? Anything good? Okay, well, take your time and think about it over the course of the next few days, and then bring that back to some of the things that I tell you today. Okay. So the 4 pillars to our system, everything that I'm going to teach you today, and basically it's how I approach marketing. It's not just about lead generation. You can utilize a lot of the things that I tell you today to obviously improve your lead flow and attract the right prospects, and more so prime them so that they are ready to work with you. Obviously close more deals, so utilizing different technology and automation and strategies will improve your close rate, especially if you're busy. And then cultivate a world-class experience. So I swear to God, this number changes every year, how many touch points it takes for somebody to interact with your brand before they're actually ready to work with you. And so, it's like it started out at 7, now it's 11. And it's really a matter of having a longer sales cycle and needing to stay in front of people. I own a marketing agency. I'm not a deck builder. A lot of the things that I do are very similar to you guys, and obviously I have several clients that I've worked with, so I can speak with confidence that somebody, might engage with you now, but 6 months later they'll be ready, because maybe they thought it was a great idea, they got into it, they learned all the stuff, and then, they had to put a PowerPoint presentation together for their husband and, couldn't close the deal. But then later on, they'll come back. And when they do that journey, if you're not staying in front of them and somebody else at that point is standing out, all that work you put into that lead is down the drain. So you can really leverage some automation with email marketing, email and text messages, automate those puppies to stay in front of people. You can do retargeting and all kinds of things. And obviously grow your reputation. So there are different tools and strategies that you can do to get more online reviews, which are extremely important. And obviously reputation involves getting more referrals. So there's a lot of things that marketing does indirectly to help serve your business and help you build a stronger brand. All right, so strategy 1, the core components of a digital marketing strategy. So I want to talk about brand positioning, and this is extremely important. I mean, these are the things that, what was it, Mad Men? Did anybody watch that show about advertising? I'm in advertising, so I watched it a little bit, but it was from the 50s and 60s and how they approached advertising, and it was all about branding and messaging. I mean, you were convincing people to purchase something. And in a lot of ways, I feel that over the years, we've gotten used to these shiny tools in the internet, and we've kind of steered away from that. Saying things like, we have the best customer service is not brand positioning. Brand positioning should really inspire and motivate somebody to want to purchase your luxury service. It's not a necessity in a lot of cases. So you have to work a little bit harder to stand out. And maybe you don't feel you have to, but trust me, if you put a little bit of effort into this, it's gonna make a really big impact. It's also about storytelling. I'm kind of curious, does anybody feel like they have a good kind of tagline or positioning statement that you use? Okay, I'm gonna tell you some, and maybe it'll stir up some ideas. Building the deck, rebuilding your weekends. From backyard dreams to real life retreats. Crafting spaces for real life, not just the magazine covers. You can do a play on like Keeping Up with the Joneses type of thing too. There's a lot of creative ways that you can just really like make that emotional connection when somebody comes to your website or sees your brand online. Turning busy lives into balanced ones, one deck at a time, from foundation to finesse, elevating your home in your downtime. I did ChatGPT those real quick before I came, so I would have massaged it a little bit better, but gives you a little start. We have one deck builder, actually Brendan Casey, he did a review on the book. In his email signature, he says 17-time award-winning deck builder. That says something. I mean, it does. It stands out. How do you guys stand out? What are you guys doing? I'll give you some examples. You guys are a little shy. Maybe you haven't had enough coffee this morning. I talked to somebody a couple of weeks ago, and they live in an area that's high tech. People are, they've got salaries of $250,000. They work a ton. And, for him, it's like relax on the weekend in your new outdoor living space, because that resonates with them. So really understanding your audience and your market and attaching that to a message that creates an emotional connection is how you can persuade people. It's important. All right, so phased marketing. This is important because there are no silver bullets. You can invest in advertising and you can get leads really quickly with Google Ads, but as soon as you turn that faucet off, those leads dry up. So if you really want to have a brand that is sustainable and has longevity, you have to understand that building really good your own marketing system is going to take time, and it's a phased approach. So I want to explain this a little bit more. So scalability and marketing dominance. So a phased approach for growth, from building an online presence to scaling marketing efforts to dominate local markets. Phase one, you need to lay the foundation just like you guys do. You need to have a killer website. You obviously have to have your social media set up and Google. I mean, you guys know this stuff, right? Everyone's got a killer Google business profile, right? You're collecting reviews regularly. And when you go in there, you fill out all the details that Google asks you to do, and you upload pictures of all of your stuff all the time, every month. And you've got FAQs on there, and you post all about your services, and then you do a few posts every month that reinforce all your services and things you're up to, right? Because you guys have a lot of time for that. It's really important. It's very important. And the reason is that your marketing is the matchmaker between your potential homeowner or your brand and Google. So you have to put some work in to get Google's attention so that, they then make the potential homeowner to your business. Does that make sense? You can't expect that just because you have a website, like build it and they will come. I wish that happened. But it doesn't. You have to have a structured in a way that brings Google to it. And again, all those things that I just said with your Google business profile are signals. It's like raising your hand. Hey, Google, look at me. Look how awesome I am. You can really relay a lot of marketing to dating. It's like you gotta take people out on a date. You gotta take Google out on a date, and like make a really good impression for a while before Google's gonna come over to your house, if you know what I mean. Phase two is the building that authority, so establishing credibility with reviews and social proof and ongoing content. Reviews are really important, but make sure that you share those too. You should be sharing them in your social media, all over your website. There are all kinds of tools that you can automatically embed your reviews on your website, and it's really important because it reinforces the amazing work that people see on your site. So when you are taking the time to photograph your work and get reviews and all of these things, make sure that you're distributing it so that people see it. I find that a lot of deck builders are modest, and so that's why I kind of like my job a lot, because I get to help deck builders shine and constantly get that stuff out there. So make sure that you are leveraging that. Another tip is there's also tools that you can use that will aggregate your reviews from different sources like Houzz and Facebook and Google, and put it all on. You could make a review page and it'll automatically add those reviews. And then there's a little widget too that you can get. Like seriously, all of the CRMs and marketing software systems do this. And you can embed this little widget that'll show up, in your footer, or kind of slide in on the left, and it'll say, 100 5-star reviews or whatnot. And that makes a really good impression when someone comes to your website. So again, everybody knows how important it is to get reviews, but you got to make sure that you're actually sharing them with people. Phase three. So, and then I'm sorry, back to phase two, ongoing content. So content is kind of the secret sauce to getting Google to get to know you. Google's like a library, right? So if you have a library on everything that has to do with deck building, not like, hey, all the things that like a deck builder needs to know, but the things that an actual homeowner researches, if you have all of that stuff on your site and you're constantly producing it, compare that to somebody that doesn't even have a blog and they have like one page that just talks about them doing decks and doesn't talk about composite wood, or, railing or framing, or outdoor kitchens, or, if you're doing pavers or anything like that. It paints a much bigger picture of your capabilities and your overall authority if you are actually talking about the things that interest people. So try and put yourself, and you can use ChatGPT. Why don't we do an exercise right now? I love ChatGPT. Give me a list of 10 blog articles that would reach a potential homeowner that's looking for a $50,000 deck. And do it in the we ask, you answer methodology. Have you guys read that book? It's really good. If you guys want to get serious with writing content, read that book. You ask, they ask, you answer. I think it's Marcus Sheridan. How does a premium deck add value to your home? Is there anything that could possibly delay the timeline in getting my deck project done? Pretty good. Composite wood or PVC? What are some features I need to consider for my deck? What are the top design trends for high-end decks? Usually I would have prompted that 8 times. But the point is I'm just trying to get your mind going with some different ideas. Are there common sales objections that you guys have? That if you had a piece of content written about it and they read that before they hopped on a call with you, would that be helpful? Maybe. Okay. Well, a good idea is to, do you guys do anything with your confirmation page, or do you have like an email confirmation that goes out if somebody fills out your form? So take advantage of all of those touch points. Have, compile like the top things to consider about building, investing in a deck project, and a confirmation email, or, if you don't have autoresponders set up, put it on the confirmation page, or at least on the page, where they fill out the form. Put it somewhere. And again, that's kind of priming them, you know what I mean? So that they are thinking about these things before they get on the phone with you. Another really good idea is to, we're getting close on time, and I barely went through anything. So if you guys want to hop on a free strategy session with me, I'd be very much willing to do that, to answer all of your individual questions. And there should be a resource there to do that. But now I went down a rabbit hole and I don't remember what I was saying. If you guys want to talk about advanced marketing strategies, put your effort into creating video. Have a video on your lead generation page where you have your form that talks about how freaking awesome you are, in a very natural way, what to expect. Help utilize that to help weed out people you don't want to work with too. And definitely if you don't do repairs and staining, make sure that you add that on your page too, right up front. That way people don't, don't waste your time. And in your form, have a checkbox that talks about budget. Have like, 25,000, I'll do a project under 25,000, and that's like the minimum. Like that's the first option. And then people naturally know, okay, they're not gonna like, do a $10,000 project for me if that's not what you want. So utilize those things to help people qualify themselves, Any questions on that? Any thoughts? Is that helpful? Yes?
If you do a video that doesn't look that professional, is that a drawback, or is that I don't know what videographers cost necessarily, but I'm assuming it's fairly expensive for the average deck builders.
Yeah, so in my column and everything that I say, I always say keep moving forward. You could sit there and want to perfect everything in the beginning, but just doing nothing isn't as effective as doing something. And honestly, we live in a really authentic world. And so I would say just put something up and don't overthink it. It's gonna be so much more valuable than having nothing. And then yeah, eventually, maybe you get to a point where, you could do something professional. But I wish I had an example to show you. I don't right now, but trust me, just doing something will be better than nothing. Reach out to your manufacturers too. A lot of them will support you with some of these things. So take advantage of their corporate money to help you succeed. And hopefully your reps are doing a good job with, telling you some different ways they can support you too. Okay, so phase 1, phase 2, it's a given. You need it, period, all of these things. Phase 3, scaling for dominance. Once you've gotten to a point, you want to go from 2 million to 4 million. What you did before isn't going to work, and so you need a different approach. Your marketing has to grow as you grow. So that's when you start to get into retargeting ads. You expand your different type of campaigns and channels, start introducing social media ads. I would not do social media ads right away. If you're going to do any type of advertising, I would start with Google ads, because those are people that are actively looking for a deck builder. All right, so this is just simple math. Very important to know your numbers. When you know this, you can more confidently invest in your business. So this scenario uses all of the same numbers. It just compares a lower close rate to a higher close rate. It's super simple math, so it's like 10% going to 20%, you double it. If your average project price is $25,000, you're at $250K per month. Obviously, if that close rate increases to 20%, you're at $500K. Does everybody know your close rate? Another really good number to know is your website conversion rate. Because especially if you're investing in marketing, you need to know, are people actually picking up the phone or calling me when they get to my website? So know your numbers so that you can more confidently invest in your business. Now this is an example that I do with everybody on a strategy call, and then it serves the foundation for everything that we do moving forward. We track these numbers on a monthly basis so that we can proactively adjust things if we need to, and re-strategize in order to help you guys reach your business goals. So this example is somebody that wanted to go from just real small. They wanted to go from a little under 2, and I think they were more at like 1.7. Sometimes it's really hard because people don't know their numbers, and I'm trying to help them with this exercise, and it becomes pretty general, but as they work with us, we're able to tighten it up. So they were at 1.9, we'll say. They wanted to grow to 2.3 just to be able to bring on a couple more team members so that they could get out of the business and work on the business. So I looked at their average project price, how many leads they were getting per month, and was able to figure out their close rate for them, which was 27%. In order for them to grow by that 17%, we needed to get them 60 more leads a year, or 5 more leads per month. Now, the investment, they were only investing $500 a month in their marketing. I can't remember what they were doing. They were probably just throwing money at Google ads and not really knowing if it was doing anything for their business. So then our smallest program is $1,500 per month. That's only 1% of your sales. Do you guys invest a certain amount of your revenue goal on marketing? Does anyone have a budget set for your marketing? No? 5% is what you should be shooting for, but most of you guys, 2%, I would say is average.
In general, I don't know what everyone else's numbers are, of course, but our overhead, which I consider marketing overhead, running at 10% is kind of industry standard.
Mm-hmm.
In commercial work especially. 10% overhead, 10% profit is kind of what they work. 5% going to marketing. That's kind of tough.
Yeah, if your marketing isn't spitting out more money than you're putting into it. We have one client that has their return on investment has grown by 70% from the previous year, so they're getting $175 for every dollar they put in. You can more confidently invest in marketing if you know that, right? Everyone gets scared, but if it's not working, yeah, it's an expense, but it should be working for you, and it takes time. Any more questions on this? I gotta keep going here. I want to show you something, and I think it's going to help with your question. Performance tracking. So, I'm not going to press on this too much, but again, you have to have things in place to actually see where your leads are coming from and to better understand what your cost per lead, your conversion rate, and your acquisition costs are. So let's say that your acquisition cost is $500. It costs you $500 to bring on a new client. Could you increase your price by $500 for a project? Is that big of increase? If you're able to grow your business by 25% every year, would it be kind of worth it to maybe increase your, price to cover the marketing costs? Sounds scary, or it sounds like something you could do? It'd be, and again, it goes back to your growth goals. If you're okay with where you are now, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Okay, get a dashboard together so that you can review that stuff. Strategy number 2, optimizing your website for conversions. So here are a couple websites I want to show you. Has anybody been to the DeckEx talks? Are they good? Yeah, cool. Legacy Decks is one of our clients, and we built this site a few years ago. I'm a picky designer, I want to update it already. But some good things that I want to point out are the call to action. What do you do? Do you give a free estimate? Do you do a free design? Do you do a consultation? Tell them what that process is like. Don't just say, contact me. There's a phone number predominantly at top. Some people don't want to show their phone number because they just want people to fill out the form, so that's up to you. But if you are going to show your number, make sure that it's clickable. You can see as you scroll the page, there's all kinds of options for people to connect with you. You can click on a button to directly call. And so all throughout, we're reinforcing their reviews here, and then they can fill out the form right here. Here's that project budget. I love the way that they word it. Let's keep it small, some room to grow. I want to enjoy it, not break the bank. I want what I want. I'm going all in. So those are some key components. And then the sticky header is kind of nice too, because as you scroll, the button's predominantly there. So just, making sure, and then this is pretty sexy too. We put the button down here, so when it kind of aligns on mobile, it's predominant. So I'm gonna move forward. Does anybody have any other questions about conversion on your site? Again, check out the book. There's a lot of details about what I'm saying. I'm limited on time, so I can only go over the high level stuff. I wanna give you the big picture. Trust symbols, really important. Especially if you are a manufacturer partner, adding that stuff in there is really important. Here's one of those widgets I was talking about that aggregates the reviews. Your website, your work should stand out. You should list all your services, and obviously have really good pictures of your work. So professional design, it impacts trust and conversion. So if your website looks like 1999, people are going to think that you're running your business like 1999. And I would hope, you guys really care about design, right? It's important that the stuff that you guys create is beautiful. So make sure that your website reflects that. The impression that they get, that's the first impression that they have with you. And so you need to make sure that that impression stands true throughout with all of the touch points that they have with you too. Make sure that the experience on your website matches the experience that you give somebody in the sales process. Make sure that your brand is reinforced and cohesive on your trucks and your yard signs and your merch. Because again, they might not be ready now, they'll be ready later. And if they have that consistency and they're like, okay, I've had people come to me and they have a completely different color and font on their business card versus their website and stuff like that, and it's unprofessional. It just is, and you really want to stand out. You guys care about the quality of your work. Make sure that your online presence and offline presence does the same thing. Effective calls to action, clean navigation, and visual elements. There are things in your navigation, people might not click on all of these things, but if you list it, it gives people an idea of what you do without having to spend the time to look through everything. So, listing all of your services, again, if they don't click on all that, they're like, dang, they do a lot. Areas you serve is a really big thing, guys. From an SEO perspective, go to your website and see if people can see where you're located right away. Because a lot of people miss the mark on this, and it's really important for Google, specifically. Google won't show you for terms like deck builder near me if you don't even list where you are located, and then the areas that you serve. So most people aren't going to click on these pages. These are more like landing pages. If somebody searches for Deck Builder and Naperville, it'll show up for them. But just having it here on the site helps people to know that you serve all these areas. It's good for Google. It's good for your users to indicate that. Yes?
When you're picking those cities, should they have a certain number of people living in them?
I think that we definitely let our deck builders lead that. We prioritize these pages that we create based off of the locations that you want to get the most business out of first, and then go from there. From an SEO perspective, we nerd out on the data on a monthly basis to prioritize the content that we're going to create that's going to make the biggest impact to get you to show up on top. Okay, advanced SEO and content marketing. There are multiple sections on the search engine page that you can rank for. So you've got the local service ads at the top, you've got a knowledge section. People also ask. You've got your Google business location. Does anybody know if you're getting the bulk of your leads from your Google business profile? You should be. I mean, you should. It's at the top of the page, it's free. Then you have your paid, I missed that. A lot of people don't click on the paid, but people will see you, even if they don't click on it. It's important. If you're showing up in the paid listing, you're showing up in the Google Map Pack, and you're showing up in organic, or do you think you're gonna stand out? I think people will be more prone to click on you if they see you showing up everywhere. So it's extremely important. And remember the number of searches I talked about. Certain keywords like Trex, Dex, it's like 80,000 searches per month nationally. But you can apply that to your own local market. And Trex is the Kleenex of composite, by the way. So they have a lot of searches. So even if you're not a Trex fan, talk about it. You know, let people come to you, and then you can tell them why you don't like a particular brand. You know, but you're not even going to be able to have that conversation if you're not getting them there in the first place. You have to control the narrative, and that's what SEO and content creation is like. I've talked about content a little bit before. Is this kind of resonating with you, how important it is and how it works, and some ideas with content? Okay. Traffic growth examples. So long-term, SEO is the core of everything that we offer, and it should be a primary focus for you as well. Keep it simple, write content that really speaks to what people are asking for. Make sure that your website is built technically sound. There's all kinds of online analyzers you can use, and then you can just hand off that report to your developer to make sure that it's set up right. But SEO takes time, and it depends on where you're starting and what your market looks like, what your competition looks like. What you can typically see is when you redo your website to get it optimized for search, and you have all the amazing content like I've showed you. You're listing all the services, the areas you serve, you've got a blog, you got a nice gallery of your work. You can most likely see, you can see these arrows here, their traffic started to peak a little bit. But after you're consistent with your content creation and your overall strategy, usually around the 6-month mark is when you start to see more of a significant impact, and then that number just keeps going up and up. You'll tap out at one point, and then you need to start, leveraging more advanced strategies like social media ads and stuff like that. But and again, I can talk about all of those super advanced strategies, but for me, I want to make sure that you guys get this down first and understand the importance of it. I can do in my audit, I also, in the strategy session, I'll show how your traffic compares to your competitors. Have you guys ever done that to see? It's pretty enlightening. And it really helps me too, because then I can see, okay, it's gonna take a lot. If there's a really strong competitor that's outranking you and getting the bulk of the traffic, or a lot of times I can see, well, these guys have kind of flatlined, they're not really doing much. And And then sometimes I can see that somebody that they thought maybe wasn't a threat is, because they've started to do something and their traffic is going up. Okay, so this is the SEO journey. This is what I wanted to show you before. I'm just gonna go over this really quickly, but basically this kind of breaks down that path of building that relationship with Google so that they show you. So in the first few months after you launch your website and get it where it needs to be, really you're focusing on visibility. So there's a tool called Google Search Console, and it will tell you how many times your website is showing up when people are searching online. It'll tell you what your click-through rate is on those search results. So just even if you're showing up, it doesn't necessarily mean people are clicking on your listing in Google. You want to obviously see that all that stuff is going up, and it's going to give you more confidence knowing, okay, like I've hired this SEO company and like things are working, and whoever's doing your SEO should be showing you this stuff if you're interested. Keywords, obviously. Typically we'll see that people aren't ranking for really top keywords like deck builder near me, outdoor living contractor. And after the website launches, they'll be ranking 80. What that means is you're not even being seen, but you're showing up. It's just you're on like the 8th page, You go on a search and you could click the arrows, right, to keep looking. I mean, you want to be number 1. So what you'll see in 3 to 6 months is you'll start to see those rankings really go up. They should be going up month over month. And then at that point, you could really focus on what the click-through rate is. Like, does your description and stuff like that seem convincing enough that people are actually clicking on it? So you really nerd out on the data to tweak the knobs to make sure that you're getting the most juice out of the squeeze. And Google Search Console will help you identify some of that stuff. By stage 3, we're talking 6 to 12 months. And again, this is a very large range because it depends on your market and where you're starting, what your authority is like when you're starting. But at that point, as I showed in the graph, you should be seeing a significant impact. So if you're working with anybody and you're not seeing leads right away, give it time, make sure they're communicating with you. If you've been with them for 6 to 12 months and you haven't felt the impact, there's something wrong. Okay, lead management and automation, strategy 4. Is anybody using a CRM to manage your leads? Okay, some people don't because you don't have enough leads to really bother with it, and that's fine. But do have something in place. Some things that are really helpful, there's a lot of automation tools out there that do these types of things. One strategy that we put together is you're busy, you're in the field, and you can't answer the phone, and you guys know how important it is to answer the phone. If you don't, like, they're going to the next person. So you got to get back to people right away, especially even when they fill out your form, get back to them right away. It's important. And you can have some automated touch points where it looks like it's you authentically reaching out, but you're just kind of holding them there for a minute until you can actually do the manual reach out. So have automated text messages and emails that go out. Again, utilize those touch points to share important information that's going to help them build trust with you and prime them for sales. Let's say you're out in the field, you're busy, you can't answer the phone. There are systems in place that will automate a text message going out to that prospect that says, hey, I'm sorry, I'm busy right now, I can't, I'll get back to you as soon as I can in order to speed up getting a free estimate, bam, link to your form. Anybody doing anything like that? Does that seem like it would be kind of helpful? So, like, leverage these tools. We use Sales Jumpstart. There's some info in the book on it. You could check it out. And, we do things even like a few months after the project is done. We'll send out, we just started doing this for our clients. It'll send out a text message that just checks in to see, hey, how's the space going? And that's like things that you can be doing post-project to help build more reviews and referrals. So leverage that type of stuff. It's super easy. It's kind of like a one and done thing. You set up automation and it works for you. You test it out and you refine it as you need to, but it's very simple to do. And so I really highly want to encourage you guys to leverage some technology for some of those things. All right, we're at time. We had a late start. I had so much I wanted to go over. I really hope that this was helpful. Does anybody have any questions? Yes.
I see the vision and message thing not coming together. Like I have a lot of newer stuff. I just rebuilt everything, but now everything's everywhere.
Yeah.
And I do need to kind of bring it back into one vision.
Yeah, I mean, the positioning that you have on your social media cover, covers like the image that you use there and then the description that you have on those. We also generate online listings. There's like 100 or some that we do on pages like Yellow Pages, like who cares, right? But Google does. Those places spend a lot of money on their data, and it's kind of like a popularity contest. The more Google sees you, the more reputable you are. So making sure that your positioning and stuff like that is consistent on all of those sources. And oh my God, I didn't even say, make sure that your Google business listing has Deck Builder as the category. Some people use general contractor. No, use Deck Builder. Yes.
Yeah, I use April services, just to kind of give you guys an idea. Like, I probably did 500,000 my first year, and this year we'll do 1.2, basically in about 12 month time frame. She definitely did a lot of things with regard to my marketing. I was working with another just web developer. They kind of screwed up a few things here and there. Nothing that I knew necessarily, but you don't really know until after the fact. And I know a lot of customers mention to me now that they love our website compared to what it was before. It was done professionally, it looked fine to me. I don't know the difference. But a lot of people said, oh yeah, they love the gallery and things of that sort. Just the leads themselves. Our leads went from, I think I had 70 calls or 75 calls last year, and we'll do about 100 this year.
Okay, I didn't tell him to say that. I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming too. It's scary. I mean, is anybody investing, a significant amount in your marketing, or just kind of like bare minimum because maybe you're not confident enough? It makes a big difference. I mean, just look at your competitors, seriously. Leave this room and go online and just do some research like you're a homeowner and see what shows up and see if there's certain people that look like they're big, like they have it together. It's very impressionable. I guarantee they're putting some effort into it consistently, does anybody, are you guys doing marketing on your own, or do you have somebody helping you with it? Okay. Read the book. And so obviously you guys have the book, get the checklist, and then of course I'm always available for a strategy call. I do it for everybody, just like you guys, do the same thing. I showed you kind of how I map things out. And I need to know your goal, so I could reverse engineer a plan that's gonna work for you. I think the call is extremely helpful. Right now, for anybody that is here at DeckExpo, we're giving $1,000 off our services, so pretty cool. But regardless, are you guys, raise your hands if you're ready to step up your game. Awesome. Well, I hope that the book was helpful. Stop by the booth and say hello. There's information there. I'm going to be on stage at the outdoor living stage. I'm going to be moderating a couple of panels. We're going to talk about marketing from a few deck builders there, and then we're going to be talking about how to help your business from these guys. I love panels. I don't know about you guys. We had a kick-ass women in the industry panel yesterday, but I do recommend coming to those sessions because it's nice to hear from me, but I think it's better to hear from other people too. Yeah, you could call or text me anytime if you guys want to take a picture of this. Again, I'm here for you, and I want to help you guys succeed and have the business that you guys deserve, be able to spend more time with your families, take more vacations, and obviously generate more revenue and have a business that you're really proud of. So thank you guys.